Hey guys, it's Erica here with the Child Care Directorship Podcast. We are live in beautiful Orlando, Florida, day 2 of the CDA Conference. I'm having a great time. What about you?
I'm having a fabulous time.
What has been your favorite part so far? Besides, of course, being on this
I was like,
podcast.
this is
It's
going to
on
be
the top.
a
It's on the
favorite,
top
right?
list
It's definitely
right
a
here.
favorite. I really just enjoyed the last session we had where they had the panel discussion.
Uh-huh.
And just hearing from all the experts from current time to those who started the CDA. That was just amazing. A lot of those people, I have followed them in my journey.
Yeah.
As I learned more about the CDA, and then just to have them all on one stage in one room
Yeah.
was really amazing. It was really amazing.
Yeah. So tell folks, who are you? A little bit about yourself.
Right. So my name is Yolanda. I run an early childhood organization known as PACE, which stands for Professional Advising and Career Empowerment. And basically what we do in that organization is pretty much a twofold mission, right? Professional advising, meaning that we provide professional advice on how you can get to where you want to get to in your career. And then the empowerment part, just making sure that educators feel important and making sure that they understand that they really are valued in this field. And if we can get them to understand that, then we know that if the grown-up is good, the kid's going to be good.
Yeah.
So keeping all of that in mind is going to be really, really important.
So talk to me. You have some books here. Talk to me a little bit about these books.
Yes. So my organization has created a number of books that are on Amazon, but I brought with me to the conference 2 of our most popular ones, right? So the first one you see here, my Early Childhood Workshop Notes, is a book that educators can use to take their notes, whether they're listening to a conference presentation or an online presentation. And it really just allows them to have one space, right?
Yeah.
To keep all of their notes, to set some goals, and to, just have something to reflect back on. Because how many times do we go to a conference and we hear wonderful things and we write them down on a piece of paper,
And
then we get right, and then there's
I have no idea what you mean. I have no idea.
Right? And so the book was created out of that I had all these little scraps of paper that, we figured that, why not put it together? And to me, it really just gives them a good opportunity for even directors to get with their staff and say, what did you learn from that conference? I know licensing inspectors also love the book because not only do they get to see their certificate, but now they get to see what else did they learn, right? And it just helps to bring that professionalism that we really want to see in our fields. It helps to bring that. So that book is on Amazon. It's priced very reasonably so people can find it. But if anyone ever wants bulk orders, they can just contact me and we can work out a deal too. The idea is just that you want educators to know that when they come to these conferences and they get that knowledge, you want them to keep growing with that knowledge after they leave the conference. So when you write things down, you have a better chance of doing that.
All right. I'm going to stop you there. Okay. So directors, I cannot tell you how many times I send people to a conference, or a workshop, and they do the workshop and then they don't implement it in the classroom.
Exactly.
Does this ring a bell, guys? Here you go right here. So now when your folks go to the conference, they can bring it back and you can say, can I see it? Now you know what they learned, right? What their key points were. And then you follow up so you can see it in the classroom. How are you going to implement that? That's great information. How are you going to implement that in your classroom, right?
Yeah,
and then when you have your professional development plan, this is, again, your strengths, your weaknesses. Okay, you've taken 18 courses on art with toddlers. How about we do some classroom management? How about we do some professionalism?
Right.
So this is like, I could just see the value in this as an owner. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over a show. But no, like I can see the value in this.
And it's done so good. We've sold hundreds of copies to Head Starts. We just met someone here from Texas who's ordering it for their conference. We're hoping that the CDA can get it maybe on their website or something like that. But it really, like you said, it just pulls it all together. And now you have it in one space and there's enough room in there for 50 workshops. So now you can, have all of your notes in there and, you can reflect back and write down the websites that you heard about and all of those things. So,
and the podcast.
Yeah.
Child Care Directorship Podcast. Write it down in your resources.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one of our favorite books to share. The other thing that we're really passionate about is building children up. And where's a better place to start that than in early childhood, right? If I think about myself, if I had known the things now when I was a child, do you know how much more powerful I could be, right?
Imagine being Benjamin Button.
Exactly.
And going backwards.
Exactly.
Having all that knowledge and being cute and young.
Exactly. And what I found,
that's why they don't do that.
Right. And what I found was that teachers, a lot of times they'll tell children good job, or they'll tell them, nice work,
Yeah.
but really just
Specific,
affirming them
yeah.
on what they could do. And that's where this book came in, that also happens to be very powerful, right? So not only does it give them opportunities to work on their fine motor skills and all of those things, some cognitive knowledge for learning their ABCs and all that, but it's filled with things like, I am growing, right?
Mhm.
And then not only does it say, what's happening with the child growing, but it gives them some other information on what the teacher can say, like, I saw you were growing when. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it gives them the language that they can talk to children about. So it's not just good for
Yeah.
children,
I
but it's
noticed
good
you
for
didn't fall off the
families.
bike today.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I noticed you're growing when you, helped your friend put their coats away. I noticed
Yeah.
that you were kind when you did that, So it really just correlates with all those things that we want to embed in children, so that they know that they're so important and they are making a difference in this world. So it's been really popular with parents, been popular in childcare programs, but we love affirming children, because to me, there's nothing better than a child who's confident in themselves just for who they are. Yeah, just for who they are. So it's definitely been a fun journey. And you can use dot markers with that book. You can use paint, you can use stickers, you can, however you want to design the book, you can design it that way. But it gives them a great opportunity to just really feel good about themselves. Here recently, I worked with a group of children, and they actually used the letters from their name, and now they have an acronym of affirmations. So if their name was Katie, I am kind, I am intelligent, I am awesome, and they're able to use the letters to kind of learn their name along with an affirmation. Yeah.
Can I talk again?
Yes, you can.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to be your hype girl here.
No, you're
So, as somebody who runs staff meetings,
right.
I'm just looking at this book, and in 1 second, I already made a connection that you could also use this with your staff. I'm going to show you how right now.
I didn't even think about that.
You could
I
use
didn't even
this
think about that.
with your staff, right? Here's I'm organized. Reflective question. How can you show that you're organized when you blank shows me you're organized? Ain't this great to use with your staff when you don't get your lesson plans on time?
I like that.
Or you open up the counter shelf for the art supplies and all the stuff's falling out, right? But there's
I've never been that teacher. I've never been that teacher. Just
because you are organized. There are some folks who say, I am not organized.
Right.
But I think that, affirmations, I think, are good for everyone. Absolutely, you could use this with children. But what is something that you love about yourself?
Oh my goodness.
Could
One
you
of my
not
favorite
use
questions.
this in a staff?
Yes.
Could you not use this with your staff? Especially if morale is feeling a little low and they're feeling a little defeated. So we all love affirmations. So I think this is a great tool for your center for both children and
Thank you.
And staff.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
yes,
you.
of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. And like I said, we have lots of things on Amazon. I didn't bring them all. But, the nice thing I love about our books is that we use the proceeds, the net profits, to help people pay for their CDA. Because it's one thing to go through the training, but if you can't afford to apply for the credential, then you don't get to finish the process.
Yeah.
So we're able to use that money that we get from these net profits to help with the CDA. And on our
love that.
on our website, the bumblebee is our mascot per se, right? And I love the bumblebee because if you know anything about bees, they kind of work together all for a common cause.
But wait, no, you're the queen,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm the queen
You're the
bee.
queen
Yeah,
bee.
I'm the queen bee, right? But we definitely work together for that common cause. So whenever these books sell, it's not even about, trying to be number one on Amazon or anything like that. It just reminds me that people are putting their resources together to help our whole profession. And that's what really it's all about, right? That if we want to change something, we can be that change. You know what I mean? We can be that change. So
wait, hold on. My check.
If you want to change something, you can be that change.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't need permission.
You don't need permission.
You don't need
right?
permission.
You don't need permission. And
do the thing.
Exactly. If you see something that needs to be done, get started however you can doing it. And that's where we kind of grew from, right? It started with one book. It's grown into like 20 books. You know what I mean? Because the more you do something, the more you learn, the more you see how it's helping others, the more you're inspired, and it just kind of goes around in that same circle. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Yeah. Well, this is the hottest spot at the CDA conference right here.
It's definitely the
so
hottest
when you fill out, what are the fun things that you did at the CDA conference? This is it.
Yes.
So I do have a question for you for the conference planners who are listening out here. So for the conference book, if you sell these in bulk, like if somebody buys a
Yes.
big order?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're ordering more than 100, what I would say is get in contact with me.
Okay.
And the easiest way to reach me is through the website. Just go to the contact page, right?
Okay.
Our website is in that book, but it's also, can I mention the name of the website?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
The
Yeah.
website is www.pace.org. Pace to you. I'm sorry, pace2u.org. So www.pace, the number 2 and the letter u.org, right? And if you just look up professional advising and career empowerment, if you just Google that, you'll find us that way too. But if you want to place a bulk order, right, the best thing to do is just get in contact with me. Any orders that are more than 50 orders, I can usually work with Amazon to get you a small discount
Sure.
on the books. But we really just want to get that book out to the early childhood community, not only because we think it's great, but it's a wonderful thing to be organized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. It takes off so much pressure when you can organize yourself as a professional.
Yeah.
You know?
So I couldn't have paid you for a better segue.
Okay.
So what was that word you said? Empower. What'd you say?
Empowerment.
Empowerment.
Yes.
Okay, for you listening out there, mark your calendars, May 7th, 8th, 9th. You need to come to the Early Education Empowerment Conference in Rhode Island. It is about to go down.
Yes.
We are going to have the most fun at any conference that you have had in a very long time. So thank you for tuning into the
Thank
Child Care
you.
Directors Share podcast, where the leaders go and the leaders grow.
And I hope to see them there. I will be at that conference.